Welcome to Historic Adventures. We hope you are all doing well. Today, we're visiting a stunning location. Welcome to Dunstanburgh Castle. We hope you enjoy this video. Nestled along the rugged Northumberland coastline, Dunstanburgh Castle stands as one of England's most atmospheric and inspiring fortifications. Constructed in the early 14th century by Thomas, Earl of Lancaster, then the wealthiest nobleman in the realm, this grand edifice was born from ambition and power. However, Earl Thomas met a tragic fate, executed for his pivotal role in the Barons' Rebellion against King Edward II. In the 1380s, the castle underwent significant modernization under the stewardship of John of Gaunt, reinforcing its prominence. Throughout the tumultuous Wars of the Roses, Dunstanburgh served as a steadfast Lancastrian stronghold. Yet, as the Middle Ages waned, the castle's fortunes diminished, leading to its gradual decline into disrepair. Today, it stands as a haunting reminder of a storied past, where echoes of history linger in the windswept ruins. Dunstanburgh Castle, an imposing stronghold, was initiated in 1313 under the command of Thomas, Earl of Lancaster, who would later meet a tragic fate in 1322. Lord of the Barony of Embleton, Thomas inherited vast estates from his father, Edmund Crouchback, the king's younger brother. These lands, some of the largest and richest in England, span the northern Midlands and Yorkshire, though the Embleton barony lay far from his main power base. As Thomas prepared to claim his inheritance, tensions escalated between England and Scotland, with the border a mere 25 miles to the north. Yet, rather than focus on border defences, Thomas was more preoccupied with safeguarding his own position. This concern grew acute after April 1312, when he and fellow earls marched against King Edward II and his favourite, Piers Gaveston. While the king escaped by sea, the earls captured Gaveston at Scarborough, leading to his execution in Warwickshire, on lands owned by Lancaster. In the wake of this upheaval, Edward II sought vengeance, yet Thomas pressed on with plans for a new fortress on his northern estate. Surviving records, albeit damaged, reveal the ambitious scope of construction that commenced in spring 1313, including the excavation of a defensive ditch and the erection of a grand gatehouse. Though no further accounts from this era survive, it is believed the castle was at least operational by March 1319, when Robert of Binchester was appointed its first constable. Remarkably, even in the face of Scottish raids following their victory at Bannockburn in June 1314, and the devastating famines of 1315 to 1317, construction persevered. In August 1319, as Earl Thomas passed through Dunstanburgh on his way to the siege of Berwick, he likely beheld his new creation for the very first and last time. This castle, a testament to his ambition and turbulent times, still stands today, echoing the rich tapestry of its storied past. In the years 1321 and 1322, Thomas, Earl of Lancaster, once more took up arms against King Edward II and his favoured supporters, Hugh Despenser and his son. As the tide of battle turned against them and defeat loomed, Thomas and his loyal followers plotted a retreat to the safety of the castle, the most remote stronghold in his domain. However, fate intervened. A royalist army intercepted them at Boroughbridge, Yorkshire, on March 16, 1322, and captured Thomas. Following a swift and humiliating trial, he was executed by beheading at his own stronghold in Pontefract Castle. In the wake of this dramatic turn of events, King Edward II seized control of the castle, fortifying it with a garrison of 40-foot soldiers and 40 hobblers, lightly armed cavalry, thus ensuring that this formidable fortress remained firmly in royal hands. The echoes of loyalty and betrayal that marked this turbulent chapter of history continue to resonate within the castle's ancient walls. Dunstanburgh Castle likely reached completion shortly after these events. The name Lilburn Tower suggests it was John de Lilburn, who served as joint constable from 1322 to 1323, who finalised the construction of this imposing tower, which commands a view over Embleton Beach and Gull Crag. By April 1326, the castle had been returned to Earl Thomas's younger brother Henry, who succeeded him as Earl of Lancaster until his death in 1345. The second quarter of the 14th century was marked by heightened tensions along the border, particularly following the ascension of David II to the Scottish throne in 1341. Even after David's capture at the Battle of Neville's Cross in October 1346, peace proved elusive. Records from the early 1350s reveal that the castle became a sanctuary during Scottish raids, providing refuge for local residents and their belongings. Its vast enclosure was undoubtedly large enough to shelter the population of Embleton and surrounding townships, standing as a bastion of safety amid the turmoil of the times. In 1362, the castle passed into the hands of John of Gaunt, the fourth son of Edward III, as part of the Duchy of Lancaster, inherited through his marriage to Blanche, the granddaughter of Henry of Lancaster. For some years, Gaunt made few alterations to the castle, but after being appointed lieutenant of the Scottish Marches in 1380, he recognised the deficiencies in its defences. Over the next 3 years, he undertook significant renovations to enhance the castle's layout. His first major project was the construction of a formidable wall, or mantelet, standing 6.5 metres high and 1.3 metres thick. This wall created a courtyard to the north of the Great Gatehouse, where Gaunt established his own apartments. Built by John Lewin, the most renowned builder of the Northern Realm, the mantelet effectively separated this private area from the rest of the castle. Following the tumult of the Peasants' Revolt in June 1381, which Gaunt narrowly escaped, he became increasingly aware of the need for improved security. Under the guidance of Mason Henry Home, the mantelet was reinforced with a new tower and gateway, regulating access to the Lord's enclosure from the castle's main body. Within this enclosure, Home also constructed 6 service buildings, further enhancing the castle's functionality. In 1383, a new entrance was established on the castle's western side, complete with barbicans and a drawbridge. During this time, the original carriageway of the Great Gatehouse was likely blocked, making John of Gaunt's Gate the principal entry point. In later records, the former gatehouse was renamed Donjon, referring to the Lord's Tower, which we now understand as the Castle Keep. Thus, the castle evolved into a formidable stronghold, reflecting Gaunt's vision and the turbulent times in which he lived. In the late 15th and 16th centuries, the castle fell into a state of decline. Its sheer size and the expense of maintenance rendered it a liability, while the decaying walls became an inviting source of stone for nearby construction. The castle's strategic vulnerabilities were evident, situated too far from the Scottish border and distanced from main thoroughfares. Surveys conducted in 1538 and 1543 underscored the deterioration. The curtain walls were in disrepair, lead roofs were missing from several buildings, and only the gatehouse remained habitable. It was within this structure that the widow Alice Craster took up residence in 1594, transforming the castle into the centre of a modest farming estate. A decade later, following the union of the English and Scottish crowns, a move that rendered the castle obsolete in national affairs, King James I sold Dunstanburgh into private hands. In 1605, it came under the ownership of Sir Ralph Grey, who resided at nearby Howick Hall. By the 17th century, the once mighty fortress had reverted to arable land. A sketch by Francis Place in 1678 depicts harvests in the fields to the west of the castle, and in 1695, an impressive yield of 240 Winchester bushels of corn and several cartloads of hay were gathered within the castle walls, mighty fortress had reverted to arable land. A sketch by Francis Place in 1678 depicts harvests in the fields to the west of the castle, and in 1695 an impressive yield of 240 Winchester bushels of corn and several cartloads of hay were gathered within the castle walls. Place's artwork also captured the ruinous state of the buildings by the 1670s. This evocative imagery would later draw the interest of artists such as Joseph Mallard William Turner, who found inspiration in the dramatic silhouette of the ruins set against stormy seas. The castle, once a formidable stronghold, now stood as a haunting reminder of a bygone era. The defences erected around the castle during the Second World War tell a compelling story of urgency and preparation. In 1940, as fears of a German amphibious assault loomed over the Northumberland coast, this historic site was hastily fortified. A network of fortifications emerged, including a pillbox, anti-tank trenches, gun emplacements, and even a minefield, all strategically positioned to protect the area, particularly Embleton Beach, just north of the castle. These military installations stand as a testament to the pressing need for security during a tumultuous time in history. The remaining structures of the South Curtain Wall, with its imposing mural towers, alongside the Lilburn Tower on the western flank, reveal the understated elegance of their architectural features, simple doors and windows that reflect the practical design of their time. The rectangular profiles of the towers further emphasize a distinct regional character, showcasing the robust and functional style that defines this remarkable fortress. These enduring elements speak to the castle's storied past and the craftsmanship of those who built it. Thank you for joining us on this visit to Dunstanburgh Castle. If you found this video informative and brought value, please consider subscribing. To keep up to date with our latest content, feel free to drop us a comment. All our social links are in the description. Until next time, see you soon.